Welcome, Fairlands community. My name is Heidi Deeringhoff, and I'm the principal of Fairlands. Thank you for joining us to learn more about school reopening. We're very excited about having students back on campus for in-person learning.
I'm Kate Townsend, Vice Principal at Fairlands, and I too am looking forward to seeing our hybrid students back at school.
We have approximately 350 transitional kindergarten through fifth grade students who have selected the hybrid or return to school option. That's about 45% of our Fairlands student body. We worked hard to keep students with the same teacher and to ensure that siblings were placed in the AM cohort.
In order to follow the health and safety regulations, we do have some students assigned to an afternoon cohort for in-person instruction, but the majority of our classes are assigned to the AM cohort. Your child's specific assignment will be shared with you prior to the reopening date.
We will cover several topics that will be important for you to know as we transition back to in-person instruction.
We'll be explaining things you'll need to know and items that need to be completed before we return to school.
We'll cover how to arrive to school and how students will enter campus safely.
Also, school expectations and new routines,
We'll also cover how to receive school lunches.
and routines for how to pick up your child from school safely.
We'll also talk about what to expect during the time your student is at home learning.
And some additional resources you may find helpful.
So let's dive into what will happen before we reopen with some must-dos for parents and caretakers. First and foremost, please be sure to sign in to the Q Parent Portal to update your child's emergency release information. Please be sure to list people who can be at school within 30 minutes or less. This is best practice for any school year, and especially now if we have confirmation of being exposed to a positive COVID case. It's a really good idea to list more than one person to be certain your child can be picked up in a timely manner. To help staff direct children to the correct classroom upon arrival, please attach the provided classroom logo luggage tag to your child's backpack prior to the first day of school.
Hi Flyers, Mr. Mutzel here, going to show you how to attach your luggage tag to the front of your backpack. First, identify an open zipper, again on the front of the backpack. Take the end of the lanyard and insert it through the hole on the zipper. Pull it all the way up to the luggage tag, and then bending your luggage tag but not folding it, create a loop, pass the luggage tag through, and zip it tight.
You will be notified when to pick up your child's tag.
Ensure that your child knows, practices, and uses good hand washing techniques. We have created a video that reviews hand washing expectations that you may refer to. Please show your child what 6-foot distancing looks like to help the child have a good idea of how much space to keep apart. You may want to practice this with family members at home.
Masks will be worn at school for the entire time on campus unless the child is eating or drinking. To help your child prepare for this, please have your child practice wearing a mask for an extended period of time, especially during their school work time. If your child does not have a mask prior to the first day of school, you may schedule an appointment to pick one up from the school office in advance of our first day back on campus.
If we learn of a positive COVID case in the classroom, we are required to close the cohort for a 14-day quarantine. Parents will receive additional written communication with important information explaining our procedures from Fairlands following a school closure. Students who have symptoms of illness, such as cough, fever, runny nose, shortness of breath, headaches, or nausea, are asked to stay home for 10 days or longer if the symptoms persist. If a child exhibits any of these symptoms while at school, we will contact the family to come pick up the student and stay home for 10 days. A letter will be sent to let the parent know when the child is permitted to come back to school. Attending school via remote learning may be allotted during this time if the student is feeling well enough to participate.
Before coming to campus, it is important that an adult in the household completes the health screening survey each morning. For children who aren't feeling well, please email your child's teacher to inform whether the student will be participating in remote learning that day. If they're not feeling well enough to attend remotely, please call the school attendance number or email our attendance clerk, Angela Gervasoni, in addition to your child's teacher.
We strongly encourage students to walk or bike to school so that we can facilitate health protocols, especially at pickup time when the pickup area is more crowded. Adults coming to campus for in-person pickup or drop-off must wear a face covering and will not be permitted past the gates. Adults are kindly requested to remain on the perimeter of campus in the grassy areas and off the sidewalks to prevent crowding. We will prop the gates open at 8 a.m. with a staff member doing visual health checks of students as they enter campus. Please do not arrive at school before 8 o'clock as there will not be supervision. Students will be provided a classroom logo tag to attach to their backpack to assist with staff in helping them find their classroom. Please note, the parking lot is permitted for staff only. Visitors must park on residential streets.
To help with physical distancing at arrival, please utilize the following assigned gates. Transitional kindergarten and kindergarten, rooms 1 through 5, will use gate 11, the main kindergarten gate, which is just to the right of the office. Gate 1 through 3 will be open for students in grades 4 and 5. Students in grades 1st through 5th may also utilize Gate 4, which is the large gate close to the multipurpose room. Gate 9, the field gate at the back of the school. And Gate 10, which is the pedestrian gate on West Las Positas Boulevard. Students in grades 1 through 5 will go directly to the classroom. TK and K students will line up in the designated area on the TKK blacktop, standing on a blue hot air balloon to keep 6-foot distancing. All students will apply hand sanitizer upon entry to their classroom. Visitors must go to the main office and must have a previously scheduled appointment.
Now let's take some time to review the expectations we will have in place to mitigate our risk exposure to COVID-19. Students have been learning about the 3 W's: wear, wait, and wash during the weekly mindfulness moments. Teachers will also spend time practicing the 3 W's with students once we return to campus.
Please be sure to send your child to school with a clean cloth mask or disposable mask. It's also a good idea to pack an extra mask or 2 in the backpack in case of soiling or breaking. We will also provide each child with 2 cloth masks on the first day of school. Disposable masks will also be available at school.
Devices will still be used on a daily basis in each classroom to support health and safety protocols, as well as to continue peer relationships with students who remained on distance learning. Please ensure your child comes to school with a fully charged device each day. You may bring a personal device from home, or if you haven't already checked out a school-issued device, you may request one by going to the PUSD website.
It is encouraged to have your child bring a personal water bottle clearly labeled with their name. Drinking fountains will be closed, but refills can be done at the sinks. While we have hand sanitizer in the classrooms and across campus, you are also permitted to pack a personal hand sanitizer for your child. Please be certain the solution is made of a minimum of 60% alcohol to be effective against COVID-19. And last of all, please have your child dress in layers as doors and windows may be open for additional ventilation.
In the classrooms, teachers have placed desks and tables facing the same direction, with students sitting 6 feet apart from nose to nose. Students will be asked to apply hand sanitizer before entering and leaving the classroom. Teachers will have individual student supplies which will be stored in personal cubbies or desks. If a student uses a shared supply, such as a stapler, the child will be asked to apply hand sanitizer before and after use. Student backpacks, jackets, and personal items will be physically distanced on outdoor hooks or within a personal desk cubby space.
One of the most critical recommendations from the Alameda County Public Health Department is that we maintain stable groups of students in each classroom. This is done both to mitigate the spread of COVID-19 and to assist in contact tracing and isolation procedures should an exposure occur. Keeping teachers and students in the same group also lowers their exposure risk by decreasing the number of people they come into contact with each day.
Students will be kept in small, stable groups with fixed membership that stay together for all activities, instruction, lunch, and recess. We made every effort to keep siblings in the AM or PM session together. 26 classes have AM cohorts only. 3 classes have both AM and PM cohorts in person.
Students will mostly utilize outdoor space for walking to and from class. Hallways will be a two-way and are intended only for single student walkthrough or with an adult escort. Arrows indicate the direction throughout all hallways, encouraging students to keep right and to follow the arrows for the direction they are walking. No students will be allowed to work at the tables in the hallways.
Students will use assigned bathrooms to reduce crowding as much as possible. Students in rooms 1 through 17 will use the main building bathrooms, and students in rooms 18 through 29 will use blacktop bathrooms. There are red social distancing stickers placed outside the restroom for the waiting line. Hand washing signs are posted in each bathroom above the sinks. Students will be able to use every other sink. Some sinks have been taped off and stalls have been closed to reduce the number of students in the bathroom at any time. A campus supervisor will be monitoring the campus throughout the morning session to support safety protocols.
Students may be offered a brain break within their classroom or a fresh air break outside. Play structures and equipment will be closed to reduce the risk of COVID exposure. The majority of health needs, such as paper cuts and minor nosebleeds, will be taken care of within the classroom. For health office needs, such as medication, the campus supervisor will escort the child to the office. For symptoms of COVID, the student will wait in an isolation room for an adult to come pick them up.
Meals are available for all students via drive-through from 10:45 a.m. to 12:20 p.m. The AM cohort must grab and go their lunch from the front of the MPR via drive-through or walk-up service. AM cohort students will not be permitted to eat on campus due to the lack of table space permitting physical distancing. Students who will be picked up by car are asked to get into their car and then proceed in the car line to pick up lunch in the drive-through lane.
For our students in the PM cohort, lunch will be offered on campus at 12:10. Students will line up in front of the cafeteria to the right of the multipurpose room with 6 feet distancing markers on the ground. Students will be seated at an assigned classroom table with 6-foot distancing and students facing in one direction. The lunch area will only be provided to those who are eating school lunches. Personal lunches must be consumed prior to arriving on campus due to the lack of table space permitting proper physical distancing. Let's take some time to review our pickup procedures. We will still have the front loop line as you approach the multipurpose room, just like last year, which will only be used for students who will be picking up a lunch. We will continue to use the same procedure of having cars loop around to the waiting area in order to ensure the flow of traffic. Please follow the directions of the traffic monitor and drive around to wait if needed. Cars who want to pick up lunch will enter from the front of the school, keeping right, and will wrap around the front loop. When there isn't enough space to pull up to the curb by the front loop, cars will loop around to the waiting area, as you can see with the light blue cars. A staff member will direct these cars to merge to the front loop area as space becomes available. In the front of the NPR area, students will also be sitting on hot air balloon markers, which are 6 feet apart. They will walk to their car in the multipurpose room loading zone when their car pulls up. In this area, students will get in the car from the passenger side. Additional physically distanced markers will also be located along the loop fence line for an overflow student waiting area. Cars will not be permitted to pick up students until they are in the zone in front of the multipurpose room or our new express lane zone. We will have some very different procedures for the parking lot compared to a typical year. Something that is brand new to our pickup procedures is our express lane. The first row of the parking lot adjacent to the handicap parking will now become our express lane. The express lane will be a designated pickup zone for those not getting lunches, as indicated by the red cars in the graphic. To access this lane, turn left immediately after entering the parking lot to pick up your child, and then proceed to exit the parking lot. Consider turning right out of the parking lot as much as possible. That really helps us improve the flow of traffic.
Students will be escorted to the front loop by their classroom teacher to the multipurpose room or released to walk to other gates with 3W reminders. To encourage physical distancing at pickup locations, hot air balloon markers are next to the express lane. Students will be asked to sit on the marker until they see their car. Please note, in the express lane, students will enter their car from the driver's side, while the main multipurpose room lane will have the student entering the car from the passenger side. Parents and caretakers are not permitted past gates and are asked to stay in outer perimeters in grassy areas or beyond, keeping sidewalks clear and adhering to 6-foot distancing. To help with planning and supervision, a survey to hybrid students has been sent home prior to the opening to determine each student's gate and pickup area. If you have not yet completed the survey, please do so by February 24th. If at all possible, please walk or bike to school so that we may most effectively reduce our likelihood to COVID exposure. Once you communicate your gate choice, please use the same gate consistently.
During our first few days back especially, we will need to exercise extra caution and patience while also paying close attention to the traffic signs and staff on duty. Please help keep us all safe by following instructions. And please be advised that the parking lot is permitted for staff only. Visitors must park on the residential streets so that we may accommodate our new express lane, as well as provide parking for all staff throughout the day. Thank you so much for following our new procedures and for working alongside us to ensure everyone's health and safety.
All students, hybrid, and at-home learners will have a change in their schedule. Students will engage in content via Zoom or independent assignments between 8:15 to 11 and 12:30 to 3:15 on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. The Wednesday schedule will be similar to our current model.
Specific schedules, including daily agendas, will be forthcoming directly from your child's teacher. Please be aware that teachers will be engaging in direct content with students in both the AM and PM block. Therefore, teacher office hours will be significantly impacted.
Parents and guardians will continue to see additional details and communication as the opening date draws near. We will have videos for parents to help teach the health and safety expectations to their child and help visualize the new pickup and drop-off procedures. A survey will be sent home to our hybrid parents seeking information about their pickup and drop-off location.
As always, we want to share tremendous gratitude for your support during distance learning. We are confident that we can work together to keep everyone healthy and safe by adhering to these plans. Thank you.